Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Under the Leaf, the channel where we search for extraordinary little creatures in ordinary places. Although the setting for this week's episode is slightly less ordinary than episode 2, although funnily enough, all we've done is just cross a field and we found ourselves in a completely different environment. So this is it's like a kind of ancient pine forest. There's a lot of ferns around as well. So all these different plants, I would have thought, means different creatures to discover. And I have a feeling we're going to uncover some slightly more unusual animals than we did last time. So fingers crossed, we're going to find things that are quite exciting. We're going to go on a bit of a longer walk this time. Episode 2, we just walked up and down a few metres, and all of a sudden, we have a Demoiselle perching on a pine leaf there. Now, we've mentioned damselflies and dragonflies before, but not demoiselles. So they really are the size of damselflies, but they're very shiny. You get blue ones and green ones. So that was a good start. I mean, I'm just doing the intro. Already we've seen this beautifully dazzling, bright blue demoiselle. So this is a good omen. I wonder what else we're going to see. Now, I'm just going to break off from the main part. I've just seen this bright orange butterfly up there. I'm wondering if it's another fritillary. We saw a fritillary in episode 2, although we couldn't get a shot of it because it just flew off. So it would be amazing if we could see that now. It's probably a comma because they're far more common, but you never know. You never know. This is an amazing place, actually. Look at this. Wow. Ah, no. I'll tell you what it is. It's another demoiselle. But the sunlight is shining through the wings so brightly. It's sort of illuminating them into this beautiful orange colour. Okay, let's go and try and get a closer look. So, what do we know about demoiselles? Well, they are in fact a type of damselfly, but what sets them apart are their bright metallic bodies and coloured wings. Damselflies tend to have clear wings. The demoiselles that we see here have these beautiful orange tinted wings. Now, there are 2 sorts of demoiselle in the UK. The ones we're looking at here are called Beautiful Demoiselles, very appropriate name, and the others are called banded demoiselles because of the black band on their wings. Now we'll concentrate on the beautiful demoiselles because we're basically surrounded by them here. Now we've seen the blue and green ones. The blue ones are the males and the green are the females. And what we've witnessed with them fluttering around like this is actually a courtship dance, which is incredible because they're just beautiful enough on their own. They're called beautiful demoiselles, and on top of that they perform this beautiful fluttering dance. This is fascinating. They're absolutely everywhere. And normally, I've only seen demoiselles before, very close to water, like the canal, river, lakes. There's no water anywhere around here. And I don't think I've ever seen so many. And this is what I love about this environment, the shady woodland. You get these little pockets of sunlight. And these beautiful, shiny creatures are just illuminated incredibly next to the shadows of the woodland. It's absolutely beautiful. Here we go. Another brightly coloured insect, illuminated against the shadows by a ray of sunlight. Look at it, it's a Cardinal Beetle. Have a look at this. So, what are some interesting facts about these beautiful cardinal beetles? Well, as with many insects, they take the approach of having a really bright colour, which is there to warn predators that they taste really foul. So rather than camouflaging themselves, they say, look, here I am, but I promise you, you don't want to eat me. But that's what the bright red colour means. Even to us, we see red as a sign of danger. If you notice their antenna, it's got this very elaborate shape to it, perhaps because it gives the antenna a greater surface area. These antennae are really, really sensitive, and they can detect chemicals emitted by other cardinal beetles from quite a long way away. It's always a good sign if you see a cardinal beetle, because it means the forest or the woodland is in very good health. Because these beetles, in their younger larval form, depend on decaying wood in undisturbed environments, so they can only exist in a beautiful, pristine, healthy woodland such as this. Here's an interesting one for you. I was walking past these leaves, I spotted a little speck of colour under one of them, and I was just about to turn it around to get some sunlight on it to get a proper look, and it's an orange ladybird, and it's just fallen on the floor now though. So come on down, have a look at this. So here it is, the Orange Ladybird. Now, if you remembered our previous episode, we discovered the 24-spot ladybird, which is very unusual in that it's not carnivorous. Now, neither is the Orange Ladybird, but rather than feeding on vegetation, it actually eats fungus. Now, this particular ladybird, it looks like it's having a little bit of problems flying, which is probably why it fell off the leaf in the first place. Look at this though, we can see how it flies. Look how it's sucking its wing back into its shell. It's incredible. Now, we didn't get to see that one fly, but we've got another orange ladybird here, and this is about to take off, so we can have a proper look at how the ladybird goes about flying, and it's extremely interesting. So, the ladybird has actually quite large wings tucked under its shell, but that shell, which is called the elytra, is in fact a pair of wings which have evolved to become very hardened, like an armour. So although it doesn't really use its shell to actually fly, they are in fact wings which have adapted themselves to become protection for the wings it uses to fly. In a little moment, it's going to lift its shell up to expose its wings, and the wings are going to fold outwards, and then it's going to take off. But we're going to slow it down and freeze it so we can have a look at how it does that. So you can just see the shell passing there, and it's about to expose the wings. So the shell pops up now, there you go, and look at that, we can see the wings have been exposed now, and it's just started to spread the wings. But currently these wings are actually folded in half, so we're going to just move the video on a little bit and freeze it again. There we go. So now you can see the wings are fully extended, and actually the wings are longer than its body. So relative to its body size, the wings are very large. And in order to fold them out like that so quickly, it uses the hydraulic pressure in its wing veins. So it increases its pressure in its wings, and that causes them to fold out like that. It doesn't use hinges or joints or anything like that. The wings are really elastic. And if you think about it, if people tried to engineer a structure that mimicked the wings of a ladybird, it would be really, I don't even know if it's possible, to be honest, extremely difficult. So it really demonstrates what wonders nature is capable of, and in such a tiny little package as well. Right, we're going to let it fly off now. We've been looking at it long enough. Another interesting one for you in the same bush, and again hiding under the leaf. This time it's a lacewing. Have a little look at this. And here it is, the beautiful lacewing. What a stunning creature. And there is a very interesting fact about these lacewings, and this is also true of a few other insects, is that it has, well, we would call them ears. It's got primitive sound sensing organs. So, well, I suppose you'd call them ears, wouldn't you? But they're located at the base of their wings. Now, the reason it has these ears is so it can hear bats. So bats use sonar, which is basically a very high-pitched sound that rebounds off the body of its prey, to detect the location of the insects they're hunting. So these bats have evolved this sonic way of hunting, but in response to that, these lacewings have themselves evolved a way of hearing the bat's sonar. So it's like a kind of evolutionary arms race. Who's to say in millions of years to come the bats aren't going to evolve a form of sonar that the lacewings can't hear, and then in response to that the lacewings are going to involve even more advanced ears. It just sort of blows your mind, doesn't it, really? But I think if that does happen, it's going to take quite a long time, so we're not, unfortunately, not going to be alive to see that.
So, these lacewings, I mean, you could easily walk past it without even noticing, but yet they have these incredible lives. So let's take a few more moments just to appreciate the beauty and wonder of this incredible creature, the lacewing.
Ah, I thought we might see one of these. A speckled wood on the ground. Now, I do love seeing these speckled wood butterflies on the forest floor, especially when the light is shining through the leaves, because the pattern on its wings really mirrors that mottled light effect that you get when the sun shines through the leaves. It's not exactly camouflage, but you just get that really strong feeling that this animal really belongs here. Ah, we've got something up here. It looks, well, it is a shield bug. Not entirely sure what type it is. Let's have a closer look.
So here it is. This is a forest bug. These are particularly distinctive. It's not the only bug that has this feature, but if you notice, its shoulders are very prominent, as if it's got like shoulder pads. Now, most of the time, they suck the sap out of deciduous trees, but occasionally they will also hunt on smaller insects and caterpillars. So they're quite omnivorous. That's the word, isn't it? That's a good word. And like some other shield bugs, if this forest bug feels threatened, it can release a very foul odour. Apparently it's like a cross between diesel and rancid marzipan. I don't know what rancid marzipan smells like, and to be honest, I don't want to know. So I'm going to be very kind to these shield bugs. I don't want them to emit a foul stench. I'm just going to leave it alone and appreciate their beauty. I'm sure this forest bug just wants a quiet life. The forest bug, I really like this one.
Well, this has been a fascinating episode. When we came here, I had no idea what we were going to see. Episode 2, last time, I had a reasonably good idea of the kind of things we would see. We did see some unexpected stuff amongst that. But in coming here, I really had no idea what lay in wait for us. So we've seen some fascinating stuff. We've seen the Orange Ladybird, the Lacewing, the forest bug, and of course the stars of the show, the Demoiselles. Absolutely stunning creatures. So for our next episode, we're going to have to find somewhere incredible to live up to this. And I very much hope you can join me next time as once again we look under the leaf.